let alone the dietary laws, they're not following any of the laws, the moral laws. So this was an upright man who was being tried. But the point is, the Most High can allow Satan to come at you and even affect your health. Verse 7 again. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took with him a potsherd to scrape himself withal. In other words, he had an item that was used like ceramic to scrape the pus. As each boil would surface and open up like the little pimples do. These are more bigger and more painful. More painful, I should say, like outbreaks. He would scrape off the pus. So he would scrape himself with this thing. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal. And he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. This is his wife now. Out of all the people that got killed, look at the one that's got to stay with him. The one that will be used as a tool to try to weaken him, so that Satan will be able to say, See, Lord, I told you so. Now watch what Job comes back and says. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaking. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Lord, or at the hand of God, at the hand of the Most High? And shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. So like I said, you see in the story of Job and his affliction. But like I said, the intention of these two chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2 of 1 Job, is to show you dynamic that's taking place in the spiritual realm that we refer to as heaven. Now in this chapter, it didn't even call it heaven. It just said the throne of the Most High was to present themselves before the Most High. But going back to recap, I'm going to roll over again to Acts chapter 7. And I'm going to read verses 48 and 49, where it says, verse 48, Acts chapter 7, verse 48. Howbeit, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, saith the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? So when it says, again, in Job chapter 2, verse 1, again there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. It's talking about the spirits. All the forces, the angelic forces, had to present themselves before the Most High. And why do I say that they had to give an account? Because as the dialogue went with Satan, that's what he was doing. This one specifically went to highlight Job's experience in Job's trial. But by virtue of what took place, Satan being asked by the Most High, whence cometh thou? Where are you coming from, Satan? In other words, Satan had to give an account of his time from his last meeting. Understand? From presenting himself beforehand, before the Most High. So that's what's taking place there. The spiritual realm. Now we're going to take another account. We're going to go to 2 Chronicles, chapter 18. We're going to start at verse 1. And we're going to read an historical account that took place during the time when Israel was divided. Alright? Like we always bring out, Israel was divided in approximately the 9th century BC. The kingdom of Israel was divided into two portions, being referred to as Israel and Judah. Israel also was referred to as the northern kingdom, historically speaking now. And Judah was referred to, historically speaking, as the southern kingdom. So you're going to get an account of the king of Judah, Jehoshaphat, going to visit the king of Israel, whose capital was in Samaria, Ahab, and he's going to read, this is going to give us an account of some things that took place in the spiritual realm. So we're going to read the entire the entire historical account. 2 Chronicles chapter 18 and beginning at verse 1. Now Jehoshaphat had riches and honor in abundance, and joined affinity with Ahab. When it says affinity, meaning they made a pact, a league. Okay, today they would call it an alliance. All right. And after certain years, he went down to Ahab, talking about Jehoshaphat, to Samaria, and after certain years, he went down to Ahab to Samaria, and Ahab killed sheep and oxen for him in abundance, and for the people that he had with him, and persuaded him to go up with him to Ramoth Gilead. So the king of the north, the king of Israel, whose capital was in Samaria, was contemplating going to war, and he was convincing the king of Judah, the king of the south, to join league with him, to go with him to fight. Now the people that were going to fight were the Syrians, and the Syrians had taken a certain portion that once belonged to Israel that was called Ramoth Gilead. Okay, I'm going to read that reading on verse 2 again. And after certain years, he went down to Ahab to Samaria, and Ahab killed sheep and oxen for him in abundance, and for the people that he had with him, and persuaded him to go up with him to Ramoth Gilead. And Ahab, verse 3, and Ahab king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat king of Judah, Wilt thou go with me to Ramoth Gilead? And he answered him, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, and we will be with thee in the war. So Jehoshaphat agreed. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. When he says inquire of the Lord, Jehoshaphat was asking Ahab, have you consulted with any of the prophets? Whenever it said to inquire of the Lord, we sought to see what it was the Most High wanted to say to us by word of the prophets. All right. Verse 4 again. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. Therefore the king of Israel gathered together of prophets 400 men, and said unto them, Shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? In other words, he went and got 400 men that were known prophets among Israel, and inquired, should we go to battle? Or should we just let it go? When it says forbear, meaning not bother to go to war. And they said, Go up, for God will deliver it into the king's hands. But Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of him? In other words, Jehoshaphat, the king of the south, wanted to know, were there any more? Are there any more prophets that you know of? And the king of Israel, talking of Ahab, said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him. For he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. The same is Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. In other words, basically telling him, don't say that he hates this particular prophet. Verse 8. And the king of Israel called for one of his officers and said, Fetch quickly Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel said, Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, And the king of Israel, verse 9. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat either of them on his throne, clothed in their robes, and they sat in a void place at the entering in of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. So you had 400 men that were prophesying to these two kings concerning their endeavor of going to war. All right? Moving on. And Zedekiah, the son of Kenana, made him horns of iron, and said, Thus saith the Lord,